pedicab sitting halfway in the road, so nobody can. I just thought we're sitting here in Norauco, trying to find out about the telephone pole tree removal. So I'm outside, so I'll video some traffic for you. This guy is passing. Let's see if I can kind of explain what's going on. You get an idea of how horrible they drive here. It's absolutely insane. Worse than I ever remember. That dude's passing. He's clear. Here comes another car. So these guys are all passing right here. And there's a car coming right there. This is a highway, so you know, should be driving not like a highway in the US where people drive 65. People pretty much drive around 40, 45, like 50 kilometers an hour for the most part. That's the only reason there's not thousands of dead people here every day, because they drive slow overall. If they drove the speed we drive in the US, I guarantee you there'll be thousands dead every day here driving. The only thing that saves their self is they drive slow. That's it. Let's see what we got. We got a motorbike looking around a pedicab. See, he's checking it out. He's looking around. The pedicabs are very slow. They're doing their job. They're making a living. This is how these guys feed their families and make a living. Completely understand that, but they're very slow on the highway here. That guy was extra careful. Hi, boss. He was extra careful. Probably saw the pedicab do a U-turn. They're very good at that, but you know, you can't fault these guys. Everybody has to work. Everybody has to make their money. Everybody has a family to feed. So, gotta do what you gotta do, but it's a little dangerous because, in my opinion anyway, probably not Filipinos' opinion, because they go so slow. And the other cars are going fast, so the closing rate is pretty fast. Like, there's a pedicab here, comes another one. He's fast, actually. Enjoy the traffic. There's a pedicab guy sitting right here next to me. Sitting outside in Norauco. Oh, by the way, oh shit, I almost dropped my motorcycle. Hold on, we're having some technical difficulties. Here comes the ambulance. Yeah, nobody moves for the ambulance either, by the way. There's no traffic here right now, but nobody moves for the ambulance. Okay, here's this car coming. The pedicabs are so much slower that, you know, they gotta pass them. There's a car just passed me on my left. Look at that. He had to slow down because this guy was in his lane. It doesn't matter, they just go, whether there's a clearance or not. And unlike the US, you only pass when you know you have enough room to pass and you're clear to pass. It doesn't happen here like that. Especially if a motorcycle is in the other lane, then they just pass and force the motorcycle to the edge of the road. But I want to show you guys one more thing too. This is very, I don't know, funny or whatever. So this is Norauco. This is the electric company, right? So even the electric company, here's the big jumbo bumble of wires. But even the electric company, right in front of the electric company, they still have wires tied to a tree. They have a telephone pole right there, obviously, and they have a tree there, and they still tie the power wires to the tree, not the telephone pole, right in front of the electric company. Hi guys. There's the Playboy. So even here, right in front of their place, they do the same thing. You'll never change it. It is what it is. You just enjoy it, and you know. So many things are done differently here. Okay, here's a car trying to pass a pedicab. You can see how slow they're going. But like I said, you know, this is these guys living, and they're driving people around. That's how they make their money. So we got two coming around, and here comes a motorbike, and they just forcing to the edge of the road. That truck right there just forced the motorbike all the way over. It was in his lane completely, passing that pedicab, but if you're on a motorcycle, you get squeezed to the edge, and you're expected to go to the edge. You don't have rights for your own lane, like in the U.S. So it is what it is. I think this is a delivery guy right here. Lots of videos I do of mountain biking and up in the woods and up in the mountains and mountain biking with the guys. This guy here just took off, never turned around, never looked back. There's a pedicab right behind him, never turned his head to see, just takes off on the side, pulls out into traffic. That's another common thing, they just pull out. Oh, there we go. Pedicab's gonna get slaughtered by a van. Oi! Oh, okay. That's another thing they do. They don't really look to see if there's an opening to pull out. They just go out of gas stations, off the roads. You just kind of pull out and go. And so if the bus honks his horn like that and passes, you move the hell over or he'll run you over. They're probably the most aggressive vehicle on the road in the Philippines, the Cirrus bus. Maybe it's a toss-up between the Cirrus bus and the little van drivers like Leo. Not Leo. Leo's a good driver, but some of the other ones are quite interesting, quite dangerous. I'm looking at this guy. He's just cruising around. Lots of dogs. Lots of roaming dogs. Every day, probably 200 puppies are born. Dogs are not fixed here. It's just what it is. This guy's, here we go. So we got pedicab in front of a bus, and you'll watch the bus just force the motorbike over, make him go to the side because he's taking over the road, and that's that. He'll blow his horn a little bit, force that guy over too. So I don't know. Usually some of these van drivers like this one here, they haul people back and forth to Dumaguete and back. And the bigger city where most expats, 99% of expats live, Dumaguete. I can see an ambulance way down there. Let me see if I can. Here's the ambulance, and nobody moves over for it. They don't give it any room. That car's not moving. They don't pull over, and you don't get in trouble if you don't. The motorbike guy did, but he's still running behind this car. Nobody moves over for him. And you don't get in trouble if you don't. Nobody gives you a ticket. There's no rules. There's no laws. Well, there's probably rules, but everything else, if it's not enforced, then it's really not. It's a waste of a rule. But this guy's been by twice. Trying to get the old girl fired up. Woohoo! Finally. He's kicking it to death and it got the starter out. There we go. Here's the other thing is if you want to just pull out in front of all the traffic, as long as you do it slowly, you're okay. That car there. There's a big bike. You don't see many, but there's a few here. Hey! 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 Let's watch this. There's a pedicab behind me getting ready to pull out, so we'll see what he does here. He's going. He's pulling out in front of this motorbike. Yeah, that's how close that was. Just go. Yeah, it's not clear, but That only matters if you're worried about getting run over. A little bit tight right in here. We're all jamming in. There goes the big van, passing car and 2 motorbikes at one time. Well, there's a motorbike coming in trucks. It's just different. I'll let you guys watch. Try not to be, I'm not being, I don't know, maybe I am being a little bit negative because once you actually drive around here, and if you live here long enough, you stay here for more than 2 weeks or a month, you gotta drive. You need your own transportation. You have to get around. Before we were on vacation, we never drove. Never drove anything here. We rode a bus, rode pedicabs, rented a van, but you can't do that we're going on 6 months here now. You can't do that for every day for 6 months. See that? That van was passing that big truck and pushed the motorcycle all the way to the edge. You gotta drive. So you're either gonna drive a car or you're gonna drive a motorbike, but you gotta, and one of the reasons why is because sometimes then you want to get on one of these little pedicabs, and they're cheap. From the house to town, 10 pesos. From the house to here, 10 pesos. You get 50 pesos for $1. So it's like, what, I don't know, 25, 30 cents. They'll bring you here. But sometimes they'll take you someplace to drop you off, and then when you're ready to go home, especially if it's a little bit in the evening, 7:30, 8 o'clock, you'll wait an hour for one of them to come by to pick you up. So and then sometimes we waited in front of when we first got here, we waited in front of the house for maybe 30, 40 minutes, 95 degrees and the sun blaring down on you, or raining like hell on you, standing outside with an umbrella trying to wait to get one of these things to give you a ride. So alright, the boss is back, so we gotta go. Oh, one more Cirrus bus. You guys will like this, I'm sure. I can feel it brewing. He's already peeking. Here he goes. He's going around the pass. And I'll just push this guy here over to the outside edge. No, didn't do it. Surprisingly. He's dropping someone off here. That's the only reason he didn't pass. He's dropping someone off. Okay, gotta go.